Young people generally have a difficult time when deciding how to manage their money. We often aren't sure how we should navigate this confusing landscape. This isn't a topic taught either in school or university, so it is a responsibility that we must learn ourselves. However, there is some fundamental groundwork that all young investors can follow in order to make the right steps. Welcome to another episode of Money Matters. If you have only started working in the past couple of years, you're likely not spending your money as well as you should be. I see many of my friends living by the principle of working hard then playing even harder. Many of you are likely working hard during the weekdays, then on the weekends, go buy expensive meals, party in Lan Kwai Fong, play poker with friends, or buy the new designer clothing because now that you have this money, you might as well spend it, right? This is likely the first time you've had a reliable income that you can spend freely. So you just can't wait to spend that next paycheck at the end of each month. However, this is the exact opposite of how you should be spending your money. Rather than blowing your cash every weekend on drinks at a bar or buying new clothes, you should be trying to save your money now. Saving early is the key to securing your financial well-being in the future. Many people are not educated in how they should save money and end up spending a majority of their earnings without saving a penny. Although it seems obvious, this is a problem that many people face every single day. While you may think that your current earnings and spending pattern is sustainable for now, have you considered your future? If you have kids within the next couple of years, what will you be able to provide for them? Will you have enough money saved up not just to survive, but to also live a lifestyle that you are comfortable with? Although these are difficult topics that many people avoid, the earlier you start thinking about them, the better prepared you can be for these situations. Developing these saving habits now is much easier than starting later when you have already developed irresponsible saving habits. If you don't believe me, I suggest asking your parents if they regret not saving money earlier in life. Although this is a topic many people dread talking about, it is one that needs more attention than ever. So now that we understand why we should be saving money, how do we go about it? The most important thing for yourself when saving money is to set aside money to save. Although it sounds rather basic, this is the most important step that many people disregard or forget. Many people don't save money during their 20s, and this is a problem that needs to be solved. In order to get started on saving, it is important to track your spending. The easiest and best way to do this is by collecting receipts and using an app. Several apps are easy to use and will help you track your money spending patterns. You should track how much money you need each month on essentials, such as housing, food, water, and other necessities. Set aside some money to spend on entertainment and set aside some money to save. Now, how much should I be putting away to save? The answer differs between every person. Some people follow the 50-30-20 rule, where they spend 50% on necessities, 30% on discretionary items, and save 20%. However, there are ways to save even more money than this. If you live in Hong Kong like me, most people live with their parents after graduating, and transportation here is extremely cheap. You can easily put more than 40% of your earnings into savings. There is no one-size-fits-all saving habit for every person, but generally, you should be saving as much money as possible. There are two main routes you can go down with your savings. The first is keeping it in a savings account as hard cash, while the other is investing in reliable and diverse assets. Both have their benefits and downfalls, respectively. Keeping your money as cash prevents any way to appreciate the value of this money and lets it fall victim to inflation. However, having cash is sometimes beneficial in case of emergencies where you need cash. Investing your money gives it an opportunity to grow over time at the risk that it will sometimes depreciate. Thus, you need a combination of cash in savings and investments. You should have around 1 year's worth of income in savings or however much you think you will need in case of an emergency. Having the rest of your cash invested in safe and diverse investments is a very good idea to build your wealth for the future. After you have a good base amount of savings, we get into the juicy details, investing. As savings don't appreciate over time and in fact depreciate due to inflation, after having a good base amount of savings, you should start investing your money. Let's talk about how you should invest. We're not going to be investing all of our money into stocks you see on Wall Street bets, such as GameStop, or putting your entire net worth into crypto like Dogecoin, hoping for 1,000% gains overnight. These types of investments are volatile and highly unsustainable. Your best friend for stable investing is going to be ETFs and funds. Both ETFs and funds provide great diversity for investing, which is the key to creating a sustainable portfolio. Funds and ETFs are single assets you can purchase that are comprised of several different stocks. This means when buying into a fund, you are not buying into a single company. You're buying into a portion of the market. There are funds consisting of everything you could think of, including but not limited to different sectors such as energy, technology, finance, or even different regions, such as developed economies like the United States, Europe, or even emerging economies like Southeast Asia, China, and Brazil. By purchasing these funds, you are able to invest your money into a large portion of a sector or region. So why is buying these funds more effective than buying stocks? Stocks are very volatile, as there are a huge amount of factors that affect a stock's price. There could be a manufacturing problem, political issues, or even famous figures such as Elon Musk tweeting, which could cause stock prices to fall. While individual stocks are volatile, funds tend to remain far more consistent and reliable. This is because funds generally are diverse. For someone who isn't likely experienced in the field of investing, this is not only the safer choice, but the easier choice. Although funds are generally more reliable and consistent, this does not account for every single one. For example, funds consisting of companies in emerging sectors, such as clean energy, AI, and other sectors, are riskier than developed sectors. Thus, a good portfolio will consist of around 80% reliable and developed sectors or regions, with the remaining 20% used on more emerging sectors and regions that are riskier but hold great upside. Now that we understand what types of investments we should be making, let's look at two important factors when investing: diversification and time in the market. Diversity is an important part of our investing here at JS Wealth. Diversifying your investments is the best way to offset risk and losses. As mentioned earlier, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket while investing. This is why we recommend funds instead of individual stocks. Although it's not as easy as buying into one fund and thinking the job is done, although funds do provide diversity, it is also good practice to buy several funds in different regions and sectors in order to gain even more diversity within your investments. For example, if you were to have all your money in a tech fund and there were issues with tech manufacturing, this would cause most of your stocks inside the fund to decrease in value, leaving you with losses. In order to combat this, you need to have investments in other areas that combat the losses you may receive. By doing this, you will not be investing in a single sector or region, but attempt to invest in the entire market. As history proves, markets tend to trend upwards, and so will your profits. Let's talk about compound interest. Compound interest is a tool that all investors can and should utilize. Although it's not something you do actively, it is something that you should be aware of. Through the benefits of compound interest, an investor is able to grow their portfolio tremendously. If an investor starts investing earlier, by investing less money for a shorter amount of time, and simply being in the market for longer, they will have more profits than an investor who starts later but invests more money. As you can see in the graphic, the person who starts investing at 20 to 30 years old is able to earn more money than the person who starts investing from 35 to 65 years old, despite investing less money and spending less time putting money in. This is simply because you have spent 10 more years in the market accumulating compound interest. Time in the market is also an important factor when investing. It is extremely effective, especially when paired with compound interest. As markets develop and change, they will always experience downtrends, times in which markets perform poorly and lose value. Many people panic during these periods and take their money out of their investments. This is a big mistake. Doing this reaffirms your loss position. What you should do instead is trust that the market will tend to grow and gain value and bounce back. So you should simply hold your position and expect the markets to bounce back again. In the past 100 years, many of the market's best performing days have come shortly after their worst performing days. By taking your money after the poor performing periods, you are simply taking a loss without any chance of recovery. A clear example of time in the market's effectiveness can be seen in JP Morgan's analysis. The 10 best days in the market over the past 20 years have occurred shortly after big declines amid the 2008 financial crisis or the 2020 pullback during the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Had someone invested $10,000 in the S&P 500 on January 1st, 2002, they would have a balance of $61,000 if they stayed the course through December 31st, 2021. If instead they missed the market's 10 best days during that time, they would have around $28,000. This demonstrates that although the markets experience downtrends, the biggest mistake you can do is sell and give your position away, as there is most likely an uptrend in the near future, and if you sell now, you will miss it. Rather than timing the market, our goal is to simply spend as much time in the market as possible. We don't intend to find the perfect time to buy into the market then pull out of it. We are trying to spend time in the market to experience the compound interest to grow our investments. With those two concepts in mind, you can either open an investment account on one of the many platforms provided today, such as iFAST, or, if you would prefer to have someone guide you, contact a wealth or financial advisor, like JS Wealth, who can help you navigate this landscape. If you do open up your own investment account, an example of a diverse and reliable portfolio would be around 50% of your portfolio invested in funds in regions such as the United States, Europe, and Asia, 30% of your portfolio split into different global sectors such as technology, finance, and energy. The final 20% of your portfolio invested in emerging markets or sectors such as Southeast Asia or clean energy. This example is not the perfect portfolio, nor may it be suitable for you. It is simply just a guideline for you to build your own portfolio. After watching this video, sit down and open up a notepad. In the notepad, jot down what you want from these two aspects of life in the future. How much money do you want to have, and what type of family you want? Think about your current saving and spending habits to determine whether you are on pace to reach this. If you are, then good on you, but chances are that you aren't. Once you understand your goals, you can much easily see what steps you need to take in order to reach them. Start planning towards your goal. Now that you understand what you need to do and how to achieve it, the only thing you can do is act upon it. Although it may seem daunting, this is the most vital step in building your own future and financial freedom. This is not an activity you can keep delaying. Acting now can be the difference to you achieving financial freedom in the future. Stop spending your money irresponsibly, start saving and investing your money. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Money Matters. Let us know what other topics you would like to see in the future videos. If you liked the video, smash the like button, subscribe, and share the video. And I'll see you on the next episode of Money Matters.